Lisa Giesler is back to show us how to get control of that clutter before it takes control of you. I am guilty of this. You know, I feel like the office space is a space that many of us overlook. You know,
Exactly.
we think about cleaning our homes,
Exactly.
but then our workspace is
I know,
a disaster.
right, exactly.
So where do we begin, and what have you brought for us to look at today?
Alrighty, well, first of all, there's like two different type of people. There is your people who like to put piles everywhere. And so for that, instead of just having random piles, you kind of containerize it. And I like cute things. I don't like the utilitarian ones. So, and also we have is people who like to have files. I hate file cabinets. I'm sorry, I just don't like them. And so to me, I want something that's going to be happy, that's my taste. And this is a way to have like files on top of your...
Oh, interesting. So instead of filing it away in a traditional file cabinet, you'd put it in something like this. But this is a small little basket here. What if someone at work, you know, like what if someone works in accounting? And a file cabinet is unavoidable. Are there times when you just have to sort of make do and organize with what you already have?
Yeah, but you know what I found though? You can still have this for your acting files, for the files that you're using on a regular basis. Those are the stuff you have to touch on a regular. Your file cabinet can still be for the stuff that have to archive. But whatever you're working on, instead of it being piles all over your desk, have something like this or like this.
So that way it keeps it vertical instead of digging through a stack and then knocking the stack over, you keep it right here.
Absolutely.
This
And you
is
can put labels. Absolutely. Isn't it cute?
Well, what I like about your setup is it sort of looks like a stationery store. This
I know,
looks way cleaner.
I love this. I have such an addiction to that.
So clearly you like to find accessories and things for the desk that are a little more colorful.
Exactly.
Okay. And explain to me again, for a person who just piles things up on their desk, getting a basket seems like...
It just kind of keeps it containerized. It looks a little neater. And if you want to, you can, you know, you can put it away a lot quicker.
Here, we'll just hold it up and get a nice camera shot for that. Now, what do we have over here, Lisa?
Okay, so some people, it's where you're having like your scissors and stuff like that. So instead of it being all over the desk, some people like to have it, then you can have like a cute little box. And that way, a box can be used. This is a pretty Mackenzie child. And you can put scissors and staples in your paper clips and anything you want. And the same thing like with the pencil cup holder. Instead of the one that says, from some marketing place, you know, you got a cute one.
Oh, I see. So you should avoid the giveaway stuff?
Yeah.
The junky stuff?
Yep.
Now, this all looks very, very nice. I noticed that you have it on a very small desk. What are some of your strategies to help people avoid the office clutter really before it begins?
Well, the way you avoid the office clutter is it's taking care of paperwork right away. It's going through it. I like to have checklists on things that you need to take care of. So that way, as mail's coming in, as paperwork's coming in, just take care of it right away. You have to learn what stuff's going to be shredded, what stuff's going to be recycled, and then keep yourself organized. And that's where folders come in handy, your calendar systems, and of course, people do things online as well. They have their apps and stuff, especially millennials.
Yeah, millennials, exactly. Well, you know, I always say I'm so glad that we have email now because so many of my files are digital. Later in the show, by the way, we are going to talk about digital clutter because thousands of photos.
That's a whole nother animal.
It's a whole other thing. But if I had, you know, lived decades ago, I would be guilty of having stacks and stacks of papers. Now, you mentioned in the last segment, when it comes to a closet at home, oftentimes people get into trouble when they have too much stuff for one space.
Exactly.
So tell me how that applies in the work.
Okay, so in the workplace, obviously, sometimes I have two places. I have the desk, we have the one where your laptop is on, and sometimes you have to have another little workstation where your filing is going to be, maybe something that's L-shaped. And usually in a situation like this is where you're sitting here working, you might have your iPad here or your computer something here. So there's got to be like storage space. Some of them, if you don't have a closet, you might have a bookcase, and then you can put things like this on the bookcase when you're not working, and then you just retrieve it. So bookcases if you don't have a closet in your office.
What about ways to avoid office clutter before it even begins? You know, unsubscribing from mailing lists or, you know, avoiding the paperwork. And is paperwork the biggest culprit?
Paperwork is a big culprit. It absolutely is, but it's not making decisions quick enough. It's having all that paperwork, and it's all these things that you want to do. And I just feel that making the checklist has got to be part of it. It really has to be part of it. And it's when the mail comes in, the paperwork comes in, you're prioritizing. Get rid of that extra stuff ahead of time and then prioritizing. Okay. It's like all those little things you have to do for work.
Let's do a quick review. And I think for a lot of people out there, just knowing where to begin.
Exactly.
If you come into my office and you see stacks of stuff, what's the very first step for me?
Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start touching and saying, what does this mean to you? And you'll say, oh, I don't know, I think it might be junk. Oh, this has to be done in 2 weeks, this has to be done on 1 day. And so you start putting categories together of what the name of the project is and when it needs to be done, whether it's bills or anything like that.
So prioritize.
Exactly, absolutely.
Okay, and
Sorting.
then what?
And then from there, you're going to put it into some filing system, whether you do filing systems like this or whether you do filing system. And the other thing is, once it goes into a filing system, I like to tell my clients to go ahead and write it on the calendar, whether you have an electronic calendar or whether you have that kind of calendar. Because if you put it in a folder, it's just going to die in the bottom of the basket.
You know, for years I've just been reorganizing the same papers that I really don't need.
You need to throw them away.
I know,
Shred 'em.
it's so funny. When I actually sit down and take time to go through stuff on my desk, I find I don't need this. Why did I save this?
Exactly, exactly.
Well, listen,
Absolutely.
for more information on how to tidy up your office space, you can visit Lisa's website, lisagiesler.com.